Welcome to episode 1 of Death of the Author, the podcast, your world this week in the YA universe and general geekery. You're here with Alexandra, aficionado of all things obscure and nerdy, and Chelsey, writer of many unfinished things and general story connoisseur.
Hey everyone!
So, basically we decided to start this podcast because we decided that we needed another forum to talk about books, like YouTube isn't big enough. What we decided to do was create this podcast to not only talk about what we're reading, but we also wanted to focus on what's going on in the publishing world and also get a chance to engage with our audience as well as possibly, hopefully in the future, some of the writers of YA. So keep listening and we'd love to hear what you guys are thinking. Just since we haven't been able to talk about what's been coming out recently, one of the books that has just come out that I'm super excited for is Trial by Fire by Josephine Angelini, which came out, September 2nd. Trial by Fire is about a girl named Lily who realizes that there is an alternate universe out there, and she is an alternate universe self. But her alternate universe self is actually much stronger than she is and is attacking her world. So, sounds really interesting, and I am really excited to be picking this book up. Josephine Angelini also wrote such series as Star-Crossed, which I really, really enjoyed.
See, I've never read anything by her, so this is news to me, actually. So yeah, it does sound really interesting. I'm definitely down. I love alternate universe, doppelganger stories, because it's kind of creepy when you think about who's your worst enemy other than yourself.
And trying to defeat yourself is just a whole conundrum in yourself, because how do you know your greatest weakness? Because if you knew your greatest weakness, wouldn't you try and fix it, right?
These are the questions that need to be answered.
Here it is, the one we have all been waiting for. One of the biggest collaborations since David Bowie met Queen and Alien met Predator. The nostalgic walk back through time where you can sit back and pretend you don't have homework to do, you don't have bills to pay, and you do not have a job to go to. The only question is, why has this collaboration taken so damn long? Apparently we should have seen the signs. Instead of rejoicing angels, we've had the battle cries of half-angel shadow hunters and the glitter of fairies instead of strange meteorological occurrences. But the time has come. Holly Black and Cassandra Clare's middle-grade brainchild has finally arrived. How excited are you for this?
Well, I'm not actually that excited because I've already read it. I guess I'm kind of excited that everybody else gets to read it now because it was a really, really awesome book. It was the closest we'll ever come to rereading Harry Potter for the first time. It definitely takes all that magic school nostalgia that you had when you were reading Harry Potter, the whole you want to be a wizard, Harry, well, here you go. And I mean, in this book it's a little bit different because where Harry wanted to be a wizard, Cal is kind of no, I don't want to be a wizard. The wizards are going to kill me.
I know, right? I think we're very lucky because we managed to get advanced reader copies, like you said, and we just got to go through this whole thing again. And now we get to sit back and watch as everybody else's minds are just blown by this book. Do you think it's going to take off like you hope it will? Or do you think it's going to be a sleeper?
I don't know. I mean, Harry Potter was a bit of a sleeper. But Cassandra Clare and Holly Black have such a large following, especially in teen fiction. I feel that even though this is considered middle grade, that all of their readers are going to possibly go out and hunt this book down and read it.
But what about the younger generation? Do you think they're going to pick up on this? Or do you think it's going to be mostly the older generation kind of reliving their childhood?
I don't know. I'd like to hope to think that the younger generation are going to pick it up. But it might be more along the lines of younger siblings seeing older siblings reading it.
And then going from there.
Or parents, which is kind of scary when you think about it. Parents who read Harry Potter when they were younger, wanting to share it with their kids, kind of
find something similar and create the magic.
Yep.
Well, they still have that waiting thing down because they have planned 5 books for this series. They have released the possible titles, but
they released possible titles for Harry Potter, and they didn't end up using them. I can also remember when they were doing the Harry Potter movies, because since all the books weren't out at that point, they were coming out, the Warner Brothers was buying out as many random titles as possible just in case. Like, they owned at one point Harry Potter and the Glass Pyramid.
What?
Yeah. Random fact for the day. There
Where
you go.
was the Glass Pyramid in Harry Potter?
I don't know, but if you remember, you don't know what's happening in the last 2 Harry Potter books because they're not out yet. And here you hear about these production companies buying these weird names thinking, do they know something I don't know?
Is there going to be a Glass Pyramid in here somewhere? Let's look for all the Glass Pyramid references. No. Okay, so I have here the list of possible, or of suspected titles for the next books, including the second book, The Copper Gauntlet, third book, The Cosmos Blade, fourth book, The Golden Boy, and fifth book, The Enemy of Death.
It is very Cassandra Clare to have her titles planned out. I mean, she has all her titles planned out forever.
Forever. Infinite titles. So, I don't know. I feel like they're going to stick to those. They're very broad.
Mm-hmm.
But this is going to be a long wait for the next books. So, strap on your, I don't know, waiting caps. Is that a thing? And
hope that that's a year between releases. If not, it's not going to be good.
In movie news, The Maze Runner comes out on September 19th. For all you Maze Runner fans out there, we will post a link to a maze that can get you inspired for the movie. It'll have needle beings that will chase you around the maze, and will even change at regular intervals on a timer for those of you who are feeling especially masochistic. Powered on imagination, batteries not included. For all of you who are thinking, imagination, we invented the internet for a reason! There's also an actual Maze Runner Flash game, which we will also post on Death of the Author, www.doftheA.com. So we're going to try this out, and we hope that you get inspired by listening to us play it and want to go check it out. This was actually put out by Random House.
All right, so she's starting up the game here.
So they have multiple mazes. Interesting music, and it says mission 1, map the maze. Alright, Green Bean, it's time for you to prove yourself by getting out there and exploring the maze. Map at least 90% of the maze and return to the glade before sunset, but watch out for grievers.
Alright, maybe we should lower the sound.
It's got very epic music.
Okay,
so we gotta map out this maze, and you kind of just control it by moving back and forth, up and down. You can kind of run into walls, but we gotta map the maze. I don't know how you map the maze.
well, you're mapping the maze in the corner there. See, there's like you're building a map, so we're 26% mapped. Okay, there's like a
there's
fruit.
An apple. I don't want to touch it because I feel like it's good. I haven't seen any grievers yet.
I hear something.
Is it like the Slender Man game?
I hope it's not like the Slenderman game. I'm not in the right state of
holy
mind.
Crap. Oh, God.
There's something moving up there.
Oh, I found the glade.
I know, but you're not done yet. You have to map like 80%, 90%.
Bonus flat. Keep what's going on?
Oh God, it's killing you. It's
No! They're everywhere! No! Running away! Not fast enough! No! Ah! Success!
And she made it!
I have like 10% life.
That got really stressful really fast.
Okay, let's do one more level.
Okay, one more level. Okay.
You can commentate like it's a football game. Okay. My score was 1035. I got 90% of the map completed, and I got one item. And 45 seconds remaining, so I got a giant time bonus. My ultimate score was 2,360.
Alright, do one more level.
Beware beetle blades. You may have heard from the other gladers that the maze is infested with beetle blades. These robotic bugs will attract grievers if you get too close, so steer clear. Just map 90% of the maze and get out.
Well, that's comforting.
Welcome to the movie.
This book has been on my to-read list for a very long time.
Watch, it's gonna take me like 5 seconds to run into the Grievous this time.
Oh!
Running! Where's the glade? Nope, they're not coming after me. Okay, we'll go back through the glade.
Oh!
Fuck! Okay, we're not going that way anymore. Okay, apparently I'm not very good at avoiding these beetle things. Where are we? That doesn't look healthy to step on.
I feel like you should step on it.
You're so evil. It looks like a mat or something that you're not supposed to step on. But these beetle blade things show up as like circles. Oh, I found food.
Clearly you're desperately in need of that.
I found a wrench too. Can I get it?
Well, get it quick because you're being chased again.
Back to the glade. No! No, they're everywhere. They are swarming. Oh my god, I think I'm gonna die. Food! What's going on over here? Pile of bones? Oh my god, how much time do I have left? This is taking so much longer than the first time. Okay, how much of the map is this?
You're at 60% of the map right now.
Holy crap. I'm almost dead, too. I've got, like, how much would you say?
You are, like, at 1/4 life.
Yeah.
Hurry! The sun is setting! You gonna die!
Okay. Nope.
You're done.
I'm done.
And she died at level 2.
I was only at 61% of this, and it's tough.
Yeah.
It's not something you can do very easily. I'd be surprised if I managed to get past, like, level 3. So I would highly recommend checking out this game.
It's like, it looks like it would be very addictive.
Yeah. So, if anybody else has played this game, tell me how far you got, because I'm challenged. I'm very challenged.
Twitter!
This is what has been happening on the Twitter so far this week. I'm not very good at paying attention, but when I do, find some interesting stuff. I've noticed on the Twitter that a whole bunch of authors are either doing tours or they're just off in other countries. I think Sina McGuire, she's off in Ireland. I think a whole bunch of authors have been in Ireland recently, or at least in the UK. Then there's Scott Westerfield. He's doing a tour for Afterworlds. He's hitting up places like NYC, Raleigh, Philly, DC, St. Louis, Milwaukee. I have no idea what she stands for. The UK, Austin, Texas, Phoenix, whole bunch of places. None of them are Canada. Thanks, Scott Westerfeld. We feel loved over here.
And... a little bit harsh there.
Yeah, have you ever noticed that a lot of authors don't do book tours in Canada?
Yeah, when I look back at all the book tours that I've gone to, it's like 4.
And they're like big events too, right?
Oh, I used to work at a bookstore, and whenever there would be an author signing, it was like the end of the world with knives. Since they were so rare, if it was a big name, it would be like crazy. I remember Cornelia Funk came to my store, and it was just like we were there very, very late into the night dealing with signatures.
Oh, I remember when Stephanie Meyer came to Toronto. That was a shit show. Then George R. R. Martin happened to come by a few years ago. I didn't get a chance to see that.
I went to the Neil Gaiman reading and signing last summer, and that was crazy. We didn't end up leaving until like 2 a.m.
There was that time way back in high school where we got both Cassie Clare and Holly Black. That was intense. I think we got a bunch of book signs.
Yeah.
But that was like the big thing for us besides Stephanie Meyer way back when. Yeah. So anyways, back on topic. I think one of the funniest tweets I've seen so far this week has been from Neil Gaiman, who apparently has been having a bit of insomnia. Sleep is waving at me. It says, "Neil, come to me." Also, it has a knife. There is blood puddled on its sneakers. Sleep of the doomed. You're just like, okay. Her relationship with sleep is a little,
dangerous.
Yeah, fraught. I'll say fraught. So that was my favorite tweet this week.
What else is there of note?
Not a whole lot. And then again, my tracking mechanism is a little swayed. What else did I favorite? Fierce Reads has been advertising a giveaway of Trial by Fire by Josephine Angelini, and there was a chance to enter. I'm not sure if it's still going. I will check it out and I will put it in the comments if it's still going. Link you to that. But yeah, chance for a free copy of Trial by Fire. Why not?
Can't say no to free books.
Yeah, I will do better for next week, I swear. And then we were also on YouTube this week.
We're always on YouTube. We recently filmed an informal review of The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johnson. And so we spent a little time going through and watching other people's reviews of the book just to see what other people thought of it. And we came across one video by The Magic of Books where she did a review. And she definitely raised a few points that we didn't
quite consider. What I really liked is how she pointed out there was no major romantic subplot in this book. And that totally went over my head. I know, right? Because when you think about it, she does have, like, romantic interest, like, especially in the fetch, but it's not a plot. Yeah, it's not. Her focus is on all of her other things, like the politics and dealing with her uncle and dealing with Thorn and fixing her kingdom. Yeah. But yeah, no romantic that's not considered important, which is kind of nice when you have a female main character. Because generally, if there's no romantic subplot, there's no romantic interest at all. You know what I mean? It's either all or nothing. You have a romantic subplot, or you just don't have a romantic interest. But this book kind of manages to take the nice middle ground. And the other thing the Magic of Books said, which I really liked, was that how this is a really good book for intro to fantasy. So if you're looking to read if you're looking to start reading fantasy, this is a good book because it's light, but it's not light. And it definitely has all those really fantastical elements, but it's not too in your face with them. It's easy to get through. Yeah, it's like really easy to read. I read it in a day and a half. Yeah, I think I might have managed 2 days, something like that. So good. It's so good, but you just kind of go through it and you get to the end and you're like, where's the rest? Oh my god, I have to wait. I have to wait. Ugh. So we will attach a link to the Magic of Books video, to our video, and any other Tearling videos that we happen to come across. Yes. So to finish off our discussion of books this week, we have what we have been reading. So I'm currently reading 2 books at the same time. One I'm reading what's it called? The Raven Boys. Oh, by Maggie Stiefvater. Yes. So I'm reading that, and I'm also reading, this is kind of funny, I'm reading Go to Hell, The History of the Underworld, and it's a survey book on world religion and the history of the underworld and how it differs from culture to culture. And I'm reading it as research for something I'm working on. And this book is so much fun because it's just so straightforward with all of its information. But at the same time, it has these little sections that are kind of funny. Like they have a bunch of actors and famous people. They ask them, oh, what is hell to you? And so there's some really, really funny descriptions. My favorite being a very famous film historian being like, hell is a faculty meeting where everyone wants a different thing, where you discuss it for 6 hours and nothing happens. And hell is where all of the people who read Freudian symbology into films have to spend the rest of their lives watching army training videos. And I'm just like, this is a pretty fun book. So it's nonfiction, but it's kind of fiction-esque. Yeah, it has fiction in there, and it's a survey of religion and culture, which are 2 things that I just find absolutely fascinating. So yeah, I recommend it. Yeah. I've honestly been thinking very hard about delving into my favorite books once again. There is so much out there I want to read right now, though. I don't know if I'm going to have time, so I just kind of sit there remembering all my favorite parts and just pretending that I have time to read them again. The one that I was thinking about most reading, I don't know why, but it's an old Victorian fiction-esque novel, but it's written in modern times. and it's about this girl. She actually grows up in like Newfoundland, but her journey through life kind of takes her from Newfoundland into like the frontier, and then her husband kind of dies, and she has to go back to England then, and she ends up having to make like a good marriage to a man that she kind of doesn't really love. And then it gets into like the shipping industry, and her journey just takes her everywhere, and it's kind of like her trying to find her independence and get what she wants out of life.
What's the book called?
It's called The Wayward Tide by Alison McLeay, and it is probably one of the hardest books you will ever try to get your hands on because it's not in print anymore. So if you ever want to pick it up, I recommend it. I've loved it since I've been like 12, 13 years old, but you gotta go to like A Books or something like that to find it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've been really tempted to reread The Lord of the Rings.
Oh my god. Oh my god, really?
Well, because the thing is, I've been collecting all the history books. And so I've been flipping through those, and I get really, really nostalgic for The Lord of the Rings, and I want to do it, but that is a commitment. And I know that's a commitment. I think
You have to understand, I'm sure this girl has read The Lord of the Rings, I'm sure 10 or 20 times in her lifetime.
Okay. The fastest I have ever read The Fellowship of the Ring. Are you ready for this? This is impressive. I read The Fellowship of the Ring in 9 hours.
Wow.
I took 2 half-an-hour naps, but I did the entire thing.
That's great.
And it was an accident. We were in a Tolkien and fantasy course, and that week's reading was to read, having read the second half of The Lord of the Rings for the Fellowship. And I hadn't read it because I'm very familiar with these novels. I know them like the back of my hand. But I was doing nothing on a Sunday, and I was like, you know what? I might as well just do this. 9 hours later, bam.
I didn't reread the book for that class. I didn't. I was like, I've read this. I am good with my life. I'm going to read something else that I've never read. I think I managed to do the 2 Towers in 2 days when I was like sick in grade school. That was
9 hours.
Yeah.
9 hours.
That's pretty good.
Yep. All right, so what do we have coming up for Death of the Author?
We have a bunch of things coming up. First and foremost coming up is actually the Afterworlds review by Scott Westerfeld. This will be coming out probably sometime. It is coming out on the 19th. It's already been filmed. It is now in the process of editing as of earlier today. And after that, we have The Salt and Storm by Kendall Cooper, which will be coming out on the 26th. So stay tuned for that. Our Iron Trial review has actually been out since Friday. That's a spoiler-less review, so if you're looking forward to reading the book, it will not spoil anything for you. And then our spoiler-filled review will actually be out on the 9th when the book comes out. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed this week's podcast, and we are going to see you in 2 weeks with another one.
All right, well, I guess I will be saying goodbye now.
All right.
I'm off to read The Lord of the Rings.
God, no. All right, so we will see you guys later.
Bye!
Bye, guys.